till I met you. Told myself I'd get by without love. Drowning my sorrows, avoiding tomorrows. Kind of felt that I just had enough. You light up my face with your jokes and your smiles, and the way that you came every night. Don't know what you got, but I'm sure glad I found you. Could be wrong, but it sure feels right. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Surprised at myself all the way that I feel. So happy that you're here with me. Some women I've known have left me with nothing, but I guess it was just meant to be. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again. Here I am, I'm back on my feet again. I was down for the count, I was down, I was beat, I was crying. I was cornered and hurt, I was hiding my face, sick of trying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna get flagged, but I'll have to call my buddy John Basaha, lead singer of the Babies, and beg his forgiveness for using their song, but it just seemed like the right thing to do today. Whoo, Lordy. Good morning. Guess what? This just felt right. I had to take a chance and lay it out for you, baby. Here we go. That's right. Not 100%, not on time, not sure how long I'm gonna stay on, but I'm back on my feet again. Yo Bro Show, Tiny House of Rock, beautiful and historic, excuse me, there it goes. Old Hickory Village, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. All right, there we go. All right, this is what's left of me. This is what's left of me, you got it. You got it. I'm not exactly sure why this is not working over here. Can't see your comments. I don't know. Do I want to see your comments? How many people are going to try to continue to tell me that you contract the coronavirus from wearing skinny jeans and drinking pumpkin spice lattes? Because that is unkind and untrue. And anyway, so. All right, looks like we're on here. That's right. Rona Boy rides again, Michael Curtis. Oh my gosh, y'all. Hey, so, whoo, this stuff is no joke. Man, this page just does not want me to. Hang on a second. I'm gonna trying to refresh here, see if I can see what you people actually have to say. I've been down long enough that I feel like I need to at least hear what you guys have got to say. All right, come on, come on. That's not what I wanted. This is just being dumb. This is just being dumb now. All right, so anyway, you can see me, I can't see you. There you go. That seems fair. Funny story about that song. First of all, I always loved the Babies. One of those bands that, like, I think I probably grew up not even realizing that they were called the Babies, because I just would listen to the radio and I loved the songs, and I didn't realize that, you know, and I had no older brothers or sisters or anybody to say, hey, let's go get that album or anything like that. There's all your comments and stuff. So funny story about the Babies, and it's a really terrific story. And one of these days, I'm gonna get, and I through the power of video and Zoom and all that, I'm gonna get my boy, my buddy John Basaha to join us on here one day. So there's this legendary band, the Babies, and this amazing song, "Back on My Feet Again." It's always been one of my favorites, and so imagine my surprise when I run into completely and totally randomly and meet for the first time John Basaha, who is actually the lead singer of the Babies. As you guys may have heard back in, like, 79, 80, 81, something like that, their original lead singer, some guy named John Waite, went off to do like a solo thing. I think he did all right. Then their keyboard player went off and did he played with some band called Journey. I think they did all right. Anyway, so my boy John Basaz, the lead singer of the Babies, and they're still playing and they're still recording and you could hear it. That's my boy John singing. That's not John Waite. That's John Basaz singing right there. Oh man. Anyway, that song was the first thing I thought about this morning. And so yeah, I realized I started 15 minutes late, and I got news for you. I'm probably not going to go a whole 30 minutes because every few minutes or so I have I have this it's amazingly authentic smoker's hack going on, which considering I've never smoked a day of my life, it's just amazing. I should audition for a part as somebody's crazy aunt that smokes all the time because I've got the going. Anyway, there we go. Hey, look, Louie, look, I'm trying, man. I got another pot going back there. This is like leftover from yesterday. Okay, let me go back and see what everybody's got to say. Look, Chris Wilbur's the first one on here. Says, "Morning, Rona boy." Good morning, Pastor Chris. I love you, dude. I love you, dude, and I love your heart. And thank you for the prayers. Thank all of you guys for the prayers. I would not be in the shape I'm in right now if it weren't for the fact. And I wouldn't even be on here even trying if it weren't for the fact that you people are so faithful and awesome and loving people and praying for me and for Miss Molly. By the way, Miss Molly, who has been trapped here with me, she had a runny nose Tuesday and Wednesday of last week when I started feeling really bad. So I went and got her tested the same day I did. She tested positive. She has had a symptom since. She's completely and totally fine. No fever, no cough, no hack, no nothing. Just general pissiness about being stuck in the house with me. But she has been a good caretaker. She's taken good care of me. And we have watched more TV than two mortals should ever probably watch back to back to back. We watched the Marvel Phase 1 movies in timeline order, which was awesome. We did that over a 2-day period. And we kind of began developing our theories on what's going to happen next in the Marvel universe. I mean, so it's not like we haven't been productive. I mean, seriously, it's not like we haven't been productive. But let me just take a little aside here and just tell you, okay, so I know some of you guys have had this, and I know some of you guys have, so Mick, I know you've had this, you and Amy, I know it knocked you for a loop. We've had some other people out here who probably had this or dealt with somebody who has. Let me just tell you something, and this is, I'm going to get this off my chest right now. All along, I never once thought, okay, there's not really a virus. So a lot of these people think it's a hoax. That's hysterical because something just kicked my butt in a huge way. So it's not that it's not real. I mean, but just taking the most basic precautions. I mean, I'm telling you, I was a poster child for somebody who probably should have gotten it, considering how much I hung out in congregations of people, and no one's masking up and no one's hand sanitizing and things like that. I'm just saying. Anyway, pretty sure it's where I got it. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, all that being said, wash your dadgum hands, wear your mask when you are rolling into any public place. And remember, that's not to protect you. It's to protect the other people. It's for people like Molly who've got the virus but don't feel bad, so she can quit not to be like sneezing and coughing and spreading it, okay? So wear your dadgum mask. Shut up. I don't care about your civil liberties. I care. I'm telling you, I wore my mask except one place regularly. And here you go. I don't know if there's a lesson in that, but I guess we'll find out. So there you go. That's all I've got to say about that. This sucks. I'm a healthy person. I'm a really healthy person. I'm not even an ounce overweight for my age. I actually exercise. Even when I gripe to you guys about I've gained a little bit of weight, I'm still fine for somebody who's 6 feet tall. I'm telling you, I'm perfectly healthy. And I'm telling you, I wanted to die a couple of times this weekend. It is awful. Never did lose my sense of taste or smell. Never ran a fever. Okay. It's awful. It's terrible, but I'm telling you, pray for the people that got it, take precautions, do what you need to do. I have no idea how they're going to fix this. And I'm not even going to get into all of that. All I'm going to say is this sucks. Don't get it. Or even better yet, take precautions to not give it to anybody. So, anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. I will say that I've never in my life, even at what I would have perceived as probably the toughest time in my life, in 2001 with the loss of a child, I have never felt so much prayer and had so many people praying for me. That is amazing. You are a great grumpy bunch of people. Great bunch of people. I love you guys, and this is what we do. This is what we do. All I could think about the whole time I was down, all I could continue to think about was, and I woke up a couple of different times and like out of a dead sleep, and all I could think was, this is what God was talking about when he said truly unconditional love, just loving the people and not caring about anything other than just that, wanting that person to know that they're loved. So you guys have loved me back to health. God has loved me back to health through you guys. And I want to keep spreading that to all the other people, whether they got a virus or not. Yeah, everybody got a virus, all right. It's called a virus called the world wants you to just think about yourself. Yeah, well, we're the cure, man. I know that somewhere in there's a really clever Sylvester Stallone quote from the 80s that it's right there. I just can't quite grab it. Oh, it's from a really awesomely bad movie called Cobra. Crime is the disease. I'm the cure. Yeah, well, we are the cure for a virus that we're a cure for the world's virus. Love on each other. Thank you guys for doing that. All right, there we go. All right, so hey, look, oh my gosh, look at, you guys are talking faster than I can keep up. Okay, I can barely, my eyes are still blurry. I just woke up. I am not in 100%, and there's no way I'll be able to catch up with everybody. So as a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna try, because I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings by missing them. But you guys are talking so fast, that feed is just flying by. It's like one of them little ticker tape things where they read the stocks. Anyway, you guys, you guys are awesome. Continue to pray. I appreciate and covet your prayers. Thank you for prayers for continued healing. I'm not out of the woods yet. I still, until at least Saturday, that's 10 days past the moment that my symptoms, I'm calling my symptoms having actually showed up on Monday when I truly realized, okay, something ain't right. And then I missed the show Tuesday because I felt so bad. So that puts me Saturday being able to be 10 days. That's what they say. 10 days past your symptoms persisting. 14 days past your symptoms persisting and 10 days past a positive test. So anyway, whatever the case is, I'm on the downhill slide to this. So there you go. And that's all. I'm not going to talk about the Rona no more. I'm not going to talk about the Rona anymore. Let's talk about what's important. Oh my gosh. No, Tim, that wasn't Judge Dredd, but good guess. Another good, spectacularly bad, Sylvester Stallone movie. So, I want you to know, I think about you guys. I've been thinking about you guys. Oh, here we go. Jim, you guys. Seriously? My Smilo button is dead again. Oh, I'm telling you, all I had were these batteries. Oh, these batteries are terrible. You know what? I think I did this the last time too. Oh, well. Trash. Let's see. Is this working? Smite. Oh, the Smite button's working. Great. There, we got that going for us. Anyway, I look forward to interacting with all of you guys much more tomorrow. If I feel this good tomorrow, even if I just feel this good tomorrow, I'm back on my horse, and we're gonna do this again. And it's only gonna get better from here. I hate to say this, but after really, after sitting on my keister for the better part of, I know it feels like it's a week. It's only been since Thursday. Seriously, it's Tuesday. Is that right? Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, so it's been a rough stretch. Oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, I'm sitting around is just not my thing. So I've sat enough. So y'all just get ready. You think I was hyper before? You think I was hard to deal with before? You just wait. I've been laid up for a minute. Now I got to make up for lost time. So it is just going to happen. It is just going to happen, man. But anyway, as I was saying, thank you, Jim. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Make the choice to rejoice, people. That's what we're going to do. I'm upright right now, and I'm going to call that a win at this point. I'm going to call that a win. Maybe I can get an entire day of work done today. You know, I've got the kind of job where I am on the phone and I'm on the laptop and I'm doing things that I do. Maybe I can actually call this day. I'm going to go just claim it. I'm just going to claim it. I'm going to rejoice in the fact that I'm up and I'm out of bed, and that right now I'm not feeling like I want to die, or I don't feel like I'm already dead, which is a cool thing. So we're going to call it a win. And if we're just going to keep on rolling. We're just going to keep on rolling. I've already lost track of all the things that are going on with all of you guys, but I know that we still need to be praying for Fred's foot. And with Rob and with Rob's house and what's going on with Rob Langston and his particular situation, we got a lot going on there. I know Yaya still got family situations going on. Julie's family's always got, like, this whole year has just been one thing after another. We've got all kinds of things going on there. So y'all quit worrying about me. Let's worry about each other. I'm gonna be fine. Toss me a prayer on your way towards praying for somebody who needs some serious Holy Spirit intervention, man. I'm gonna be just fine. I'm standing back up. I feel like I did when I was playing football. I played football when I was in high school and I was a shrimp. I wish I'd have been this size. I'd have been a beast. And I'm not saying that because, like I'm that big a guy right now. I'm just saying that little 5'3", 5'4", 5", skinny, 120-pound me, crazy me, because I played defense. I played corner. I was a defensive back, man. I had no fear whatsoever. I would run into and I would tackle anybody. Never mind the fact. And most of the time, I would make the tackle because my limp body would get tangled amongst the guy's legs and he would fall down. But anyway, I digress. I was little and I was fearless. I just didn't care about my body. And I also didn't care that I was smaller than everybody else. I'm telling you, one time, and my father actually has a photograph of this. In 1983, we were playing, and whatever school we were playing, they played on Austin P. It was Clarksville Academy. We played on Austin P's football field. So I got to play on AstroTurf for the first time in my life. It was actually, we all thought it was really cool. Several of the guys went and got AstroTurf shoes. You remember those things with the little tiny knobby cleats? Most of us just played in tennis shoes. First of all, I'm fairly certain that there's a spot right here on my elbow that just never tans because of the turf burn I got that day in 1983, because AstroTurf was basically just fake grass on top of concrete. And the reason that the NFL and college players and all those guys played on that for years, I'll never know. I'm sure it looked really pretty to the TV cameras and things like that, but it was awful and it was terrible for your joints and things like that. Anyway, I digress. I was the guy on the kickoff that stood there like this. I just realized I probably told some of y'all this. You're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, I was the guy who stood next to the kicker, and when the guy came past me on the kickoff, I'd put my arms down to kind of release the hounds. Man, I want you to know, our kicker, I don't know how far he kicked it, but he didn't kick it very far, and he gets a hold of it. The guy gets a hold of it, and all I can see is, like, it looked like, to me at the time, it looked like the Red Sea had parted, and all I could see is I turned around and I'm running down the field as fast as my little 5'2", 5'3", however little tiny legs would carry me. I was so little, I was number 11, and the bottoms of my numbers tucked into my jersey. That's the only reason you could even tell what number I was, is that the tops of the 11s looked like the bottoms of the 11s, and I'm running down the field. I'm running as hard as I can because I see the guy. Oh, I see the guy, and I'm like, I'm gonna light him up. I'm gonna part his hair right here, and I'm running. And about the time I'm starting to break down, my dad has this amazing picture. I don't know where the guy came from, but the picture is basically like this. Our uniforms that day were white. Their uniforms were blue, and all it is a bunch of blue blurs. And then in the middle of all the blue blurs, there's a bunch of white blurs going this way and blue blurs going this way, and there's one white blur going this way like a rocket. Looks like it got launched. Yeah, that's me, because the guy hit me so hard, and he he knocked me off my feet, and I went flying. I was so little. I'm sure this guy will be telling his grandkids about this hit. It was brutal. If we'd had been on video, I would love to have seen this. This would have made ESPN. I'm talking. It crushed me. I went flying, and I landed in a heap on that AstroTurf as the thundering herd goes past me. And chances are, if I'm being honest, in those days, Donaldson Christian Academy, where I played, shout out Wildcats. We were everybody's homecoming game because we sucked. At that point, we were 4 years from being state champions. That was the year after I graduated, naturally enough. But anyway, but dude, I'm telling you, I laid on that turf for a second, and every part of me hurt. But that's what I feel like today. I got up, and I straightened my helmet up, and I got up because I was a little guy. I didn't get to play except on kickoffs and sometimes punts, or if we were way ahead or we were way behind. But I sat there on that turf after having the living snot knocked out of me by this guy. And my love of football and and the love of being a part of that team, that's what I am today. I'm laying there on that turf, but I'm getting up. I'm straightening my helmet up, and just kind of putting myself back together, and I'm ready to run back to the sidelines, ready to get back in the next time the coach calls my number. Boy, that was a really, really long story to basically say, I'm coming back. How about that? There you go. I'm coming back. So, anyway, I will read through all your comments here in a little bit. I can't focus right now. I mean, my eyes are still, I'm still kind of, I woke up at 7:05, so I mean I'm still on fumes right now. So y'all just have to give me a minute. I'll catch up on all your comments and stuff later. If there's anything I really need to know, somebody text me or message me or something. I love you guys. Here's the deal, and this is what okay. Let me leave you with this. I 2 different times just in the past few days have like waked up with a very clear message. And it was the same message twice that, and I couldn't tell if it was one of those things where like, I don't know if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I got up on a Saturday morning and that's, next thing you know, I'm standing in the front yard with my phone doing a quick live about it's kind of about this, but, it was just really clear to me that, it's too many of us, and I don't mean us necessarily. I mean us just as too many church people, and too many people who are who claim to be believers. Too many of us, and I'm going to say us because we're all lumped in together, whether we want to be or not. And there's people I'd like to be lumped in with, frankly, and compared to, and there's people that I wouldn't. We have got to start making sure that people understand that you are more than whatever sin you think is what defines you. And you are more than whatever terrible life event has crippled you or you've allowed to cripple you. You are more than whatever circumstance you just can't seem to get out of right now. I mean, I heard the words in my head coming out of my mouth, standing right here in front of all of you guys. And then it was weird because I could hear myself telling you guys that. And then I saw myself standing at a restaurant, for example, with somebody I know and that I really adore, who I think they think they love God, and I think that this person particularly, I think does love God, but I think feels like that there's no place for them in God's kingdom because their lifestyle has been something that is not accepted by us. So they don't worship, they don't go, they don't try to learn, they don't do anything like that. And I was standing in front of her and telling her, all I know is that I love you, and I love you the way that God loves you, which is that it's just I just love you for the simple reason that I love you, and that I don't want you to depart this earth without the love of God. And I don't care what kind of lifestyle you live. I just love you. And Chris and I have talked a bunch of times about how you end up having to look at somebody and you sort of like, you hate the sin, but you love the sinner. How different is she than I am? How different is she than I am? I'm an adulterous bastard. I'm a piece of crap. If I'm gonna view my life that way, oh yeah, I guess technically you could say that I was probably an alcoholic, abusive, adulterative piece of crap. I mean, is that how I'm gonna view the rest of my life? No, I'm a child of God. Doesn't make what I did right, but it sure does make me loved. And no matter what we are doing in our lives, we got to stop and just we have people who we need and who need us, that we've just got to get real with people and just love on them. And I mean, just truly love people. And all the hellfire and brimstone on the planet that people want to preach is not going to, I just don't feel like we're in a world where that saves anybody anymore. I'm sure in the old days it did. The reason that church buildings looked the way they looked in the Renaissance days is they were trying to scare people into church, trying to scare them into to truly fearing God for all the wrong reasons. And I don't know, maybe I'm way off base. Maybe this is 5 days of not a whole lot of sleep and being virally infected talking. But to me, am I just making this too hard? Because I just don't think it's hard, y'all. I just don't think it's hard. This is not hard. We've overcomplicated it. We as the honestly, we as the church have put it in a ditch for 2,000 years, and everybody just forgets that the original people, small groups of people going around and showing God's love practically and loving on people right where they're at. And yeah, occasionally there were things that had to be fixed, and there's people that got zapped and people who, had to deal with, being put in jail. I mean, it wasn't perfect. There's all kinds of things that went on, but anyway, yeah. So my vision is fading now, and I don't even remember the rest of what all I was going to tell you. So anyway, so you can chalk that up to a fever dream or whatever, but that's what we're going to do. If you're going to hang out here with me, we're going to be those people. We're going to be those people. And I have no room. I have no room for any kind of bias and prejudice and ugliness in my life. I posted this the other day because I saw that my man Toby Mack had posted this once before. And I posted this the other day before I got sick. And that is that you will never look into the eyes of somebody that God doesn't love. Period. Now, the chances are you may know that, but they don't know that. How are they going to find out? They're not going to find out on their own. That's the challenge. That's it's up to us. That's what it is. So if you're gonna be a part of this posse, we're just gonna love on people, practically, and I guess just whatever it takes for us just to get through to people and help them understand. And I do have to tell you that loving somebody does not mean you have to open the kimono and let them all into your life and you have to take them on to raise and things like that. No, there's people you don't want to share your stuff with. I get it. But you can still love people. You can still love them right where they're at. You can still help people. You can still show God's love. Anyway, I'm sure that this is something that's going to kind of keep coming up more and more. And I feel like I feel like I'm sobering up after a 5-day crazy bender or something like that, as I start to become more lucid. And I'm telling you that that's not going away. That the voice in my head and the vision that God gave me is not going away. So as weird as it is, this little internet platform on the Facebook Live, this is what I'm called to do. So if you're going to hang out, you're going to get called to do it too. And I'll never ask you to do anything that I haven't done myself. And for the most part, it's just going to be loving on people and being positive. Just be the light. Just be the light. Everybody's day's got enough darkness in it. You be the light. In business, I used to tell people all the time, people would ask me how, I'm going to brag for a second, but I'm not really bragging, although I'm kind of bragging. I've been doing corporate for 25 years, y'all. 25 years. I cut my hair and sold out to the man 25 years ago. I had no intentions of ever going into the business world at all. I just was out of options. The music business didn't work out. And I worked my way up through, I got to be really, really good at sales. And I got to be really, really good at being a leader. Now, leadership, I think, is something you got or you don't got. I think there's certain things you can learn, but I mean, you're either wired like a teacher, like a coach, like a leader or not. But all these things, it all comes down to this. And people think I'm crazy, but what made me a good salesperson, what made me easy to deal with in corporate, and what made people want to work for me was the fact that it was always very, very clear that I cared more about you than I did myself. And that's completely antithetical, the opposite of what most salespeople behave like. But that's how I behaved. And that made me a great salesperson. When I talked to my customers, they just knew I'm not here to make a sale. I'm here to help your business. If I can't help you, I'm going to move on to the next person. I mean, but think about that in your life. Be the one person that just everybody knows they're not in this for themselves. They're just here because they love me. And I know you and I both know people like this. I can name 7 right now that I interact with on a weekly basis in that little church house. I'm telling you. There are people that absolutely exemplify that is the very epitome of what God has asked us to do. That is loving thy neighbor as thyself. In some cases, loving thy neighbor more than thyself. So anyway, there you go. I'm gonna get off the soapbox now because I think it's time for my first dose of Dayquil and ibuprofen, which, by the way, is a magic elixir that seems to keep the achiness and the shakiness at bay. So anyway, so God, I'm going to go to God real quick here, and you guys, I will catch up on. There's so many. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's so many great comments. I love you guys. Prop each other up, keep each other lifted up in prayer. Keep throwing your prayers this way. I feel it and I appreciate it. And let's pray for each other too. Let's pray for each other too. Guys, I just feel like we had a lot of work to do, and it's going to be a joy. And you hop on board with me, and it's going to be whatever it is that we do. It's going to be fun. And anyway, God, I thank you for this group of people today. God, thank you for letting me get that off my chest. God, thank you for the healing of the body, and I thank you that my mind never really slipped into desperation. I knew I was going to get better. God, I thank you for the healing here. And God, I ask you right now for, just as my body's healing, I ask you to heal some folks here of their bodies, of their stinking thinking, of the things that they've got that are in their way. There are folks I know on here who are absolute rock solid sons and daughters who can't get past a chemical addiction, God, and they're fighting it every single day. God, I ask you to continue to embolden them. And most of all, God, for all of us, I ask you just to help us be the light in places where we're asked to be the light. God, I ask you to have each of us tell our stories to the right people. And honestly, God, I ask you to get the church out of the way. If the church is not helping, then God, just remove the church, your people of the church. And maybe it's not this group of people right here, God, that need to know that, but maybe there's another group of people who need to understand that just because you show up on Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights, that doesn't make you a church. God, I ask you to embolden your people to be your church instead of just being members of a club. God, I ask you to embolden us and move our feet in the places where you need to have us. Move our hearts in places where we need to have more compassion for people who don't believe the same thing we do, don't act the same way we do, don't measure up to our limited view of what we feel like people should be acting like. God, I ask you to help us see people the way you do. In 1 Samuel, when you talk about, you look upon their hearts, whereas man looks upon the outer appearance. We want those kind of eyes, God. And God, I thank you for this opportunity this morning just to share some fellowship and some love with this group of people here. God, I ask you to bring back the sense of humor tomorrow, because I feel like we could all use a laugh after this. And God, I thank you for the chance to get on here today and do it. Bless these people and bless your humble servant. In Jesus' name, amen. Whew, all right. All right, so, I almost fell asleep on you. Oh, hey, you guys are all still here. How cute. All right, I got to do this one again. Let's see if it'll play. And I know this is probably going to get censored because I'm sure that Sony Music owns everything, or somebody like that's going to mute me, so love this song. Oh, you could probably take this song, and it sounds like it's about a chick, but you could probably make this song about God if you really think about it. So you never know. I'm gonna ask my boy John if it's okay if we keep using this song. So anyway, yes, Keith, we're still on. I love you guys. Hey, thank you for the emails I've gotten and the messages. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for all of that. You can hit me up over here on the email address. Hey, David, hope you're doing okay over there on YouTube. Hope it was working today. I love all of you guys, and we'll, hey, listen, I'll try to do better tomorrow. Good night, Canada. All right, we are still on for just a minute. I'm just gonna let this song play. Since they're gonna mute me anyway, I'm gonna let it go. Just listen to my boy John. This John Basaha. Look him up. This brother can sing, man. Woo.